Hello everyone. So I'm back. I hope everyone have an amazing day. 3 things I am thankful for. I am thankful for a career, hobbies, and PTO, paid time off. It's about time this is about to roll up in here. I need to just get paid, y'all. Just pay me. I like a check, and I like a lot of zeros too. A lot. You can put as many numbers, other big numbers in front of it with a bunch of zeros behind it. And I promise y'all, I will not be mad. So anyway, I'm not sure what I'm gonna title this. However, I was just sitting here in my handy dandy chair. It's the Blue Clues. Oh God, I don't know where that came from. But anyway, I was sitting here and I was scrolling on the internet and I saw about a guy, I guess he has his own like podcast, whatever you want to call it, or just YouTube videos. And it was about how people was talking about like getting jobs, interviews and jobs and stuff like that. And I know I talk about jobs. I think I talked about jobs like once prior, been a while. And there was something about this lady that was explaining how she's putting her application in and people basically not hiring her. So I want to explain something to my people that's out here that's really trying to get a job. For the ones that actually have experience. So I want to say this. We all know that in a company, people want someone that's willing to last a very long time. Very, very long time. Longevity, right? And see, back in the day, people would stay on jobs for 15, 20 years. That's their new house. However, throughout time, the younger the kids get, people don't stay on jobs long. And some of it is because of what they getting paid. Sometimes it could be the work hours. Sometimes it could be the kids. It's just hard because, if you got little ones, you got to get them out, somebody got to be home and stuff. Some for religious reasons, it's hard for them to find, but those situations. Sometimes it could be the insurance. It's like you're not getting enough of benefits, meaning like for your insurance if something happens to your family or whatever, like your 401ks and all of that. So a lot of times now, when people get jobs, what's so crazy, that was the bigger thing back in the day. Now it's like people just don't want to stay places long. And those situations can still be relevant for some people. But it's like the environment, sometimes it's not even that good of an environment. You go to work and you be with people, either you're in a cubicle by yourself or you with people. You have people that want to work, do their job. Some people, they lazy and make you do their job. And then some people, they just have to do the job. They just like check. You understand? So when it comes to looking at people's resumes, it's kind of hard to figure out who the person is, because these days you can go on the internet, pull up somebody's resume and then drop it off as yours. And if you know how to play a role, pretend to be that person, you can get the job. And that's kind of hard for the ones that actually have the criteria. These days you can't really tell who is who and what is what, So that's why a lot of times y'all get people that work at these jobs that don't want to stay long, because sometimes, for the most part, they falsify information. They fluff it. That whole thing, fake it till you make it. And then when you make it, you realize you don't want it. And now you're missing opportunities for it, because what happens is the person that really need a job, then they end up either going to another company or have to downsize to something else and take a lower level job just so they can be able to provide for their family. And the thing about it is, sometimes, like what I realize now, a lot of these companies, when y'all have a lot of experience, especially for my older ones that been in these companies for like 10 years and stuff, a lot of the younger companies or people that, a lot of them are younger people now, they don't want y'all. Okay? And I have to tell y'all reason why. Because they scared you're going to take their job. And that's for older ones too. A lot of times when you have an amazing resume and it's legit, they don't want you, because if your resume look better than them, and it look like you can take their job, that's why y'all don't get these jobs. They will get someone that's not qualified just so they can make sure they can still look good to everybody else. So I'm gonna explain that part. And that's unfortunate, because you don't realize now you put in as the owner of the company or the supervisor of the company or the manager of the company. You know, that's very unfortunate, because now you working with someone that's inadequate. They're not cleaning up like they supposed to. They're not filing the paperwork like they supposed to. They're not doing their job like they supposed to. It's because you picked someone that wasn't qualified because you were scared that they can take your spot. Because we seen it. We have seen it. You could be the one that's training someone, and before you know it, they become your manager. You understand? I know how to operate. So the thing about it is, but when you are working with someone and you in a higher position, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example. That's the best way I can use it. In any job that I had, it wasn't so much that I was overqualified. It's just common sense. You know, you put two and two together and you can figure things out. And one thing about me is I'm a type of person that whatever the rules are, I'm going to follow as long as I need to follow. But if I find out a way to still follow the rules, but make it in a way where I can be more productive, that's what I do. And in that position happening, what happens with that is, you know, people tend to take offense to that. And they feel like you're trying to take their job, but that's not the case. Lord, I don't know what the heck I got on right now, but it ain't what I want to see. Okay, never mind. I'm looking at some relaxing music and something popped up that I wasn't expecting. Anyway, but yeah, so the thing about it is, like for myself, when I had these jobs, I had enough of knowledge on how to be better than what it was, but I knew that that wasn't the goal for me. But I knew I was going to be at these companies for a certain amount of time. And the thing about this in this world now, we have to realize that no matter if a person is at a company for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you always got to remember that, hey, if that person decides to move on, you're not losing anything. You're just gaining a better perspective. You are gaining something better. The problem is we look at things negative. If y'all hear the stuff in the background, unfortunately, I have to use my phone as a remote control because I refuse to buy a new one for this app. So if y'all hear it in the background, you're just going to have to ignore it. So, but anyway, so hold on a second. Where's the microphone? I think I covered it up. If not, it is what it is. Give me a second. It's about to be over with. Give me a second. Okay. If y'all can still hear in the background, you know, my apologies, but I can still talk within the background, but I don't want y'all to be confused and confuse my thought. But anyway, so back to what I'm basically saying. We will want people to be at jobs for longer times because we will want people to be in the career that they're supposed to be in. But at the same time, you cannot be afraid that someone is going to take your spot. You cannot be afraid that if someone is more qualified than you in something, that is the end all. Maybe this is something to teach you that either you need to enhance yourself, or it could be something where it's giving you extra help, or it's time for you to move on and advance yourself. See, the thing about life is a lot of reasons why, people scared. There's so much fear in a lot of things. People don't want to put a lot in themselves, or they just want positions to look like they something. But at the same time, we were working at companies that is not providing the resources or the environment where it make people want to stay long. The problem is we have a lot of people that are lazy, and it make it hard for the ones that are working. When it comes to a lot of y'all out here that don't have jobs, I don't want y'all to sit back and take this opportunity and look at it as a defeat. Take this opportunity to understand yourself and ask yourself, maybe that's not the road you should be going down. Maybe you need to do something different, or maybe you need to try harder. I tell y'all all the time, well, okay, maybe once or twice I've said it. If you gotta go to these locations and let them see your face, take the initiative. See, that's the problem. The other part to it is, it's like, how can I say it? In one sense, there are people that scare you going to take their job. The other part of it is, y'all not putting y'all best foot forward. You're being lazy. And then you get mad. Well, you just put your application online and you thought that was the end of all things. They don't know you. You haven't did nothing no extravagant than the last person. Everybody got the same exact resume. The only thing different on it is the address, the address, your phone number, and your name. Other than that, you probably turned in the same exact information as the last person. So what if, I'm going to say it like this. I'm about to shift gears a little bit. So I'm going to ask you something. If 10 of y'all turned your resume in, and all 10 of y'all had the same criterias on it, what make you different than the other 9 people? What make you different? You want to go for that doctor job, or that physician job, or that teacher job, or that mechanic job, or that government job. What make you different? You got experience. Okay? We all know how to go to the bathroom, but I wouldn't say that the experience can be better than anybody else. Tissue? You understand? What makes you different? What makes you different than any of these other people? What makes you different that make me feel, if I'm a boss, or if I got my own company and you want to work for me, what makes you stand out if everybody's saying the same thing? What is it? Because you submitted the application just like everybody else. You said that you was determined just like everybody else. You said you was a go-getter just like everybody else. You said you was willing to work hard just like everybody else. Of course you're going to have the same title, the same information as everybody else. If whatever the job title is, or the descriptions that you need, everybody application says the same thing. Y'all remember that. Everybody application said the same exact thing. What makes you stand out over all of that? That will make anybody want you more than that. You can't say your looks, because last time I checked, the computer looked the same as everybody else's computer screen. So what makes you different? What makes you stand out? Everybody got the same job criteria title. What the font of your application is what's gonna get you in the door. You had a little razzle dazzle more than the other one, or yours was plain and straightforward, or maybe you had a curve to it, or you had a little dab of a design on it. What make you stand out off of a piece of paper or off the internet? What makes you stand out? Your personality is on that paper. How can I sit back and feel like I can enjoy you at this job? Because if I'm going to sit back and have to see you every single day, I need to make sure that I can be able to tolerate your behind. So what makes you stand out? What are you willing to do to stand out, to show that you deserve something? And then you got to ask yourself, why do I even want this goddamn job other than a check? What is it going to provide for me? Because there's going to be days I ain't going to like it. There's going to be days that I'm going to have to be there that I don't want to be there for. Oh, my screen just went out. Okay. There's going to be days that you're going to be dealing with people you don't want to deal with. There's going to be days you're going to deal with customers you don't want to talk to. There's going to be days that you ain't going to be able to get off and you know you're going to want to go somewhere. There's going to be days where you can't even use your PTO time because you got blackout days. There's some holidays that you might have to work. Why do you even want the goddamn job in the first place? You're trying so hard to get the position, but are you willing to go there, still work on the days that you don't want to be there? So why would I want you to be at this job if you're not even willing to accept the days that you don't like? So why are you applying to a job if you're not willing to acknowledge the things you don't like about it before you sit back and say that you want it. And then you're going to be wondering why you put your 2 weeks notice in and wondering why the people that deserve the job can't get the job because you wasting our time. So what makes you any different? What makes you different? What you going to do that somebody else can't do? But you want to check though. See, even being in control of a company or be a leader of a company, I still want every employee to be able to handle even my position, just in case I have to take a sick day. You understand me? That's what true leadership is. You're not afraid of somebody taking your job because you know what's meant for you is for you. You know that coming to work, we all work together and we make the environment worth working together. Why do I need you at a job if you're going to be sitting there gossiping all day long? Are you going to provide happiness, the same energy that you provide to the gossip, or are you going to provide it to the customer? Because a lot of folks are depressing. I don't want that service. I'm going to tell y'all right now, you can look at people's applications and tell they're depressed. Just the way they look. There's a lot of emotions attached to people's resumes these days. I don't care if you're using the same font as somebody else. Paper and everything has energy to it. If a person really paying attention, they can tell the depression behind it. So what makes you any different? What do you need to do to deserve the job you have? So what I'm trying to say is this. There's so many variations to this. But the thing about it is, before you apply to a job, ask yourself, how long do you feel like you're willing to stay? Every job you already been at, you know is something you ain't gonna like. So you gotta ask yourself, why am I applying to a job if I know I ain't gonna like the stuff that they deal with? Why? Just so you can have a check. So you can still go out here and complain to everybody else about it. And for my people that's out here as, CEOs, managers, supervisors, or you just a new owner, you gotta remember, your company is only as good as you keep it. And if you're not making sure that your work environment is a fun environment, but also a productive environment, then your company is destroyed. Instead of just sitting here just taking applications and reading applications all day long, get to the point you actually starting to see these people in person. Don't just wait until just the interview and say, okay, now we're going to do it, or go online and just do it that way. It's more to it. Sometimes you got to sit back and see what a person is really worth. How much do they value themselves? So if you have someone that's willing to take an application to your company, I think that should be your first choice and pick. And even sometimes, I need y'all to understand something. There are a lot of people that don't have experiences on certain jobs. I'm not saying everything. I don't want you to sit here and be a truck driver and you never drove period. No, nothing like that. But I'm saying, if you know that the company that you have is something where you can teach somebody something, pay it forward. Give them the experience that they need, because that's the thing in this world. There's a lot of people with ambition and determination, but no one's willing to give them the experience they deserve. And you wonder why you got all these people out here pretending they got experience when they don't have nothing at all. See, I'd rather for someone to be honest and say, I don't have experience, but I'm willing to learn, than someone giving me a resume with all this experience on it and don't know nothing at all. Because you got to remember, even for a person that got a lot of experience, you need to ask yourself, are they even willing to continue learning? Are you willing to continue teaching? And even as a manager, are you willing to learn something new for your own company? That's the problem we have in this world. Just because you own something and you know something don't mean you can't learn more. And even if you are the trainer, don't get mad if the person becomes the boss. We all have a time and place for everything. We all have a moment in our life where sometimes we have to take a lesson for someone else that's in training. And nothing wrong with that. Because maybe that could be the moment that can help you to get to the next level in your life. Maybe it's letting you know it's time for you to move forward. Or maybe it's maybe it's saying you might need to take a step back. If you're not, the thing about it is, don't focus. I know you got bills to pay. I know it. But for the ones that get any higher paying jobs, it's not worth it if you can't enjoy it. You don't want to be in a position somewhere where you're not happy. Because every job has something that you want and something you don't want. So if you can't handle the stuff that you don't want, don't sign up for a position that someone actually needs. So for the ones that's out here, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing. But take this opportunity to get to understand yourself. Look at your resume. Look at your character. Look at the way you represent yourself. When you're going in for the interviews, ask yourself, what's the main questions that's being asked? Am I asking or answering the right thing? And I'm going to say this, y'all. I don't know. I know I ain't the only person that have noticed this. What goes on is this. There's a time and place for everything. Yes, you should be authentic. But a lot of y'all going into y'all interviews and using y'all, the interviewer as your therapist. I'm going to call it what it is. They ask you questions about why you deserve this position and different things. But before you know it, y'all breaking down in ways. And I get it. I get you going through something and you need to a lot of y'all bringing traumas to y'all interviews. I'm going to tell y'all that. A lot of y'all bringing traumas to your interviews. And I get it. The questions they ask you, you get nervous. It's like a test. You get nervous and your hands sweat, your armpits sweat, your body sweat. Because you know it's something you want. You know it's something you need. But at the same time, it's like you get nervous. You get nervous. And I get it. So you start fumbling over questions. You start second guessing yourself. Before you know it, you sound like a robot. There's no emotions. Or you get to the point you get too emotional. You start talking about your family life and all of these things. And you providing information that make them look at you sideways. And I know you need to be honest. But you have to be able to walk in the door strong too. You have to be willing to walk in the door strong and determined. So, when y'all going out here and y'all providing y'all information, ask yourself, what are you really working for? What is it that you're trying to do? Because I don't want y'all to be a slave in your own mind trying to get some paper. Okay? I know you got bills. And I know there's a lot of things that's going on. But you got to ask yourself, before you apply for a job, would you even hire yourself? If you was the manager of that job, would you hire yourself? And then ask yourself, why would you hire yourself? Look in the mirror. If you look in the mirror and ask yourself, matter of fact, record yourself. Do this. Y'all like these phones and stuff. Record yourself on why you deserve the job. And then play it back and ask yourself, what do you feel when you hear yourself say it? If you don't feel confident with what you're saying, then how are you going to be confident in what you're doing? Because you're more than just that piece of paper that you writing your information on, or you typing your information into the system. I need y'all to believe in yourselves. Because your energy is what's pressing send. And if you're not confident in what you're saying, then when they read that information, they're not going to feel confident in what you're doing. That's why so many people in the world has been able to get by. Because I'm going to fake it till I make it. Because they got enough of confidence in faking who they are. That's why they get those spots. Because they are confident in a fake persona. But I don't want you to get confident in the fake persona. I want you to be confident in who you are. Reason why y'all don't like the jobs y'all in is because you walked in with a fake identity. And it's only so long before the mask falls off and they find out who you truly are. So if it's something meant for you, go through the door as your authentic self. Go through the door being yourself. But like I always say, as a time and place for everything, I know you got a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings, but know when to use them. Do you understand me? Be direct enough and be able to stand firm on who you are. It's no different than me. Every single day, I get up here and present my resume every single day. It's not that I'm asking you for the job. I already got the job. I'm just showing you how to operate the job. That's it. Being strong in who you are, even when people think you can't do the job. Being strong in who you are, even when people are scared that you're going to take their job. Being confident in who you are, even though you know you can be a leader and direct people on how to do their job. Confidence go a long way. Even when you're not sure. Y'all see me plenty of times have emotions where I'm not looking like I am strong, but I'm strong enough in acknowledging what's going on with me. Y'all have to do the same within yourselves. So whenever you sit back and y'all applying, energy is energy. If you don't believe in yourself, then how can someone else believe in you? It starts within you first. Don't complain. Oh, these people ain't doing this. Okay, go somewhere else. You got 1 billion companies in the world. 1 billion companies in the world. Who knows? Maybe this is the opportunity that you get to move somewhere and say, you know what? I've been saying I want to travel and go somewhere else and start new. Maybe this is your opportunity. Maybe it's, you know what? I've always worked construction job. Now I want to work an office job. Maybe that's your way to go. Maybe I've always worked an office job. Maybe I need to get a job where I can be out here with the people. There you go. Maybe, I've always been a nurse or a doctor. Maybe it's time for me to be a teacher or a lawyer or something. There you go. Maybe this is giving you an opportunity to let you know it's not that you need to downgrade yourself. Maybe you're not acknowledging the upgrade inside of you. Now, don't get me wrong. We all start somewhere. But maybe the direction you're going down is not where you need to be going. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, go apply at, some Fortune 500 company and try to apply for the CEO job. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying not to do that. If you believe in yourself, go for it. You never know. But at the same time, at least give yourself a chance to try. Go out here. If what you've been doing, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off. If you're not happy with the careers you've been working, right? Maybe it's time for a change. Figure out what you liked about the things that you had. And maybe see if it's time for you to try something else. Change is not always bad. It's very good for you. Try something else. Who cares if people think that, oh, you took a step down? So what? Are you happy? Maybe you did go apply for something that's a little tougher and people feel like you don't have enough experience. So what? As long as I'm happy. Don't get so caught up into one genre, one thing. I did different jobs. I worked different things. I kept trying until I found something I liked. I kept going to different industries. I kept doing different things. Because I wanted to say, you know what, at least I try something different. I might like it. And I learned something from each thing. Every single job that I ever had. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't stay at these jobs long. I've learned what I needed to know, and I moved on because I took a leap of faith each time. Am I telling y'all to just quit jobs? No. But when you start learning who you are, you elevate yourself. Some people are meant to be at jobs for 10, 20 years. That's their life. Some of them. Some people are. Some people are meant to be at jobs for like a year. Some people are meant to be at jobs for 5 years. It is what it's some for 3 months. You got enough of people in the world that you can replace somebody. But the problem is y'all put your whole sweat and tears into a company and forget who's in charge. Everything don't mean you're a quitter as long as you're doing something to help yourself. You're a quitter if you just give up because it got tough. Then you're a quitter. If life get hard for you, the job gets super hard for you, and there's nothing really stopping you, just mad because you got to work long hours, you're a quitter. You just quitting just to be quitting. But if you know that you putting your all into it, you get up every single day and put 100% into it every single day. You go do your job. You do your job. You're not over here throwing your job off on other people. You doing what you need to do. And you get to that point, you know what? I learned everything I need to learn from here. It's time for me to advance myself. Do it. Give the amount of time notice and then do it. I kept taking leap of faith. I tell myself, shucks, I'm going to be here for a certain amount of time. After that, I'm going to the next adventure. I get what I need. Do you know if you put every job I had together, that's how I'm able to do what I'm doing right now. Every single job I ever had. My hand's shaking. Give me a second. Because of every single job that I ever had, I have did carpentry work. I work retail. I work sales. I work customer service. I have worked on driving, like transportation. What else? I worked in food. I worked in security guard. I worked in warehouse. I worked at as with music, as a for promotions. I done it just about anything you could think of. I didn't stop. I kept learning. And then I didn't just take that. I took the things that I've been in. When I went to these different facilities, I learned counseling. School, I learned how to be a teacher. I learned how to be a student. Going out here, watch people. I learned things about design. I learned things about craft. So even if I didn't get paid for the job, I still learned something new. Y'all know that's qualifications, right? I don't know why folks don't know that. That's qualifications. If you sit in somebody's classroom and learn something, even if you was in school, you learn something and you know it, that's an education that you can put down as experience. Stop diluting yourselves. Just because you didn't get a check for it don't mean that's an experience. And I'm not sitting here saying go and fluff it. Saying, oh, I worked in, how can I say it? Because you made up beds or something, you can say, I know how to flip accounts. Come on, you can't do that. But you got to understand, everything in life is experience. Everything. So a lot of times y'all sitting back and saying, I'm not experienced enough. You are. You are. And you can explain to someone. If y'all want to go in there and tell about yourself, you can say, look, I may not have had a certificate behind it, but I'm a teacher to my kids. And their education level's on top. Their education on top notch. They get straight A's, straight B's. And I provided knowledge to them. It's like we have to get, it's not so much getting super personal and telling people about your personal business, but experience is experience. It's just the way you word it. And you can still be honest about yourselves. Don't be afraid. And if they feel some type of way, I was going to say another word, but forget them. If they're going to look down on you, then forget them. It's like if you go into hospitality where you cleaning up rooms. Well, I don't have experience. Don't you clean up your room every day? Don't you clean up your bathroom? Don't you clean up the kitchen? If you clean up your house, that's how you got experience. You going to work as you trying to be a chef or something. I mean, a cook. Now I know you need to get your certificate on how to sanitize. However, you cook at home, right? Right? You know how to cook food at home? Okay, you got experience. Like, we need y'all just, I don't know. Maybe something wrong with me. So, now you know that you have more experience than you thought you had. Now you can believe in yourselves. Don't be worrying if somebody gonna feel like you taking their job. You do what you need to do while you there. You put your all in while you there. You learn what you need to learn. You help who you need to help. Treat every person as if you talking to yourself. Provide A+ service in everything you do. Because you want to provide a service that you will want someone to give you. And if you know that your application gonna look just like everybody else, then find something that make you stand out. Go to the notch, push yourself forward, and make yourself known the right way. The ones that know what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the other stuff, but do it the right way. When you go out here and you looking for any job, I always say, dress up as if you were the manager. Dress up as if you are the owner of the business. Present yourself in that manner. Because the thing about it is this. Maybe you may never become the manager of that business. Who knows? Maybe you get the information on how to manage your own business. So if you walk in with the mindset that you want to reach the top, then you will never have to settle for the bottom. On that note, you have a blessed day.